Hi guys, I'm back. Today I'm going to Exodus 36 to 40, Proverbs 9, and Psalm 130. Let's get started. Bezalel and Aholiab must do the work, just as the Lord has commanded. So must every skilled worker to whom the Lord has given skill and ability. They know how to do all the work for every purpose connected with the sacred tent, and that includes setting it up. Then Moses sent for Bezalel and Aholiab. He sent for every skilled worker to whom the Lord had given ability, and he wanted to come and do the work. They received from Moses all the offerings the people of Israel had brought. They had brought the offerings for all the work for every purpose connected with the holy tent. That included setting it up. The people kept bringing the offerings they chose to give. They brought them morning after morning. So all the skilled workers working on the holy tent stopped what they were doing. They said to Moses, "The Lord commanded us to do the work, and the people are bringing more than enough for us to do." Then the Lord gave an order. Then Moses gave an order. A message was sent through the whole camp. It said, "No man or woman should make anything else and offer it for the holy camp." And so the people were kept from bringing more offerings. There were already more than enough to do all the work. All the skilled workers made the holy tent. They made 10 curtains out of finely twisted linen. They made them with blue, purple, and bright red. The skilled workers sewed them into the pattern. All the curtains were the same size. They were 42 feet long and 6 feet wide. The workers joined 5 of the curtains together. They did the same thing with the other 5. Then they made loops out of loose strips of cloth along the edge of the end curtain in one set. They did the same thing with the end curtain in the other set. They also made 50 loops on the end curtain of the one set. They did the same thing on the end curtain of the other set. They put the loops across from each other. Then they made 50 gold hooks. They used them to join the 2 sets of curtains together so that the holy tent was all one piece. So the workers made a total of 11 curtains out of 13 to put over the holy tent. All 11 curtains of the same size. They were 45 feet long and 6 feet wide. The workers joined 5 of the curtains together into one set. They did the same thing with the other set. Then they made 50 loops along the edge of each curtain in the one set. They did the same thing with the other set. They made 50 bronze hooks. They used them to join the tent together all in one piece. They made a covering for the tent. They made it out of ram skins dyed red. Over that, they put a covering of another kind of strong leather. The workers made frames out of cassia wood for the holy tent. Each frame was about 15 feet long and 2 feet 3 inches wide. The workers added 2 small wooden pins to each frame. The pins stuck out so that they were even with each other. The workers made all the frames of the holy tent in the same way. The workers made 20 frames for the south side of the holy tent, and they made 40 silver bases to go under them. They made 2 bases for each frame. They put one under each pin that stuck out. For the north side of the holy tent, they made 20 frames and 40 silver bases. They put 2 bases under each frame. The workers made 6 frames for the west end of the holy tent. They made 2 frames for the corners of the holy tent at the far end. At those 2 corners, the frames were double from top to bottom. They were fitted into a single ring. The workers made both of them the same, so there were 8 frames and 16 silver bases. There were 2 bases under each frame. The workers also made the crossbars out of cassia wood. They made 5 for the frames on one side of the holy tent. They made 5 for the frames on the other side, and they made 5 balls of frames on the west at the far end of the holy tent. The center crossbar reached from end to end at the middle of the frames. The workers covered the frames with gold. They made gold rings to hold with the crossbars. They also covered the crossbars with gold. They made the curtain out of blue, purple, and bright red yarn, and finally twisted linen. The skillful workers sewed cherubim into the pattern. Yes, the worker made 4 posts out of cassia wood for the curtain. They covered the posts with gold. They made gold hooks and 4 silver bases for the posts. For the entrance to the tent, the workers made a curtain. They made it out of blue, purple, and bright red yarn, and finally twisted linen. The person who sewed skillfully made it. The workers made 5 posts with hooks for the curtains. They covered the tops of the posts and their pinions with gold, and they made 5 bronze bases for them. Bezalel made the Ark of the Covenant law out of cassia wood. It was 3 feet 9 inches long and 2 feet 3 inches wide and high. He covered it inside and outside with pure gold. He put a strip of gold around it. He made 4 gold rings for it. He joined them to its 4 bottom corners. He put 2 rings on one side and 2 rings on the other. Then he made poles out of acacia wood. He covered them with gold. He put the poles through the rings on the sides of the ark to carry. He made its cover out of pure gold. It was 3 feet 9 inches long and 2 feet 3 inches wide. The cover is the place where sin is paid for. Then he made 2 cherubim out of hammered gold at the ends of the cover. He put one on of the cherubim on each end of it. He made them as part of the cover itself. Their wings spread up over the cover. The cherubim faced each other and looked toward the cover. The workers made the table out of acacia wood. It was 3 feet long and 1 foot 6 inches wide and 2 feet 3 inches high. Then they covered it with pure gold. They put a strip of gold around it. They also made a rim around it 3 inches wide. They put a strip of gold around the rim. They made 4 gold rings for the table. They joined them to the 4 corners where the 4 legs were. The rings were close to the rim. The rings held the poles used to carry the table. The workers made the poles out of acacia wood. They covered them with gold. They made plates, dishes, and bowls out of pure gold for the table. They used to make pure gold pitchers to pour out your gold. The workers made the lampstand out of pure gold. They hammered out its base and stem. Its buds, blossoms, and cups branched out from it. 6 branches came out from the sides of the lampstand. There were 3 on one side and 3 on the other. On one branch there were 3 cups shaped like almond flowers with buds and blossoms. There were 3 on the next branch. In fact, there were 3 on each of the 6 branches that came out from the lampstand. On the lampstand there were 4 cups shaped like almond flowers with buds and blossoms. One bud was under the first pair of branches that came out from the lampstand. The second bud was under the second pair, and the third bud was under the third pair. There was a total of 6 branches. The buds and branches came out from the lampstand. The whole lampstand was one piece, hammered out of pure gold. The workers made its 7 lamps out of pure gold. They also made its trays and wood cutters out of pure gold. They used 75 pounds of pure gold to make the lampstand and everything used with it. The workers made the altar for burning incense. They made it out of acacia wood. It was 1 foot 6 inches square and 3 feet high. The horn stuck out from each of its upper 4 corners. The workers covered the top, sides, and horns with pure gold. They put a strip of gold around it. They made 2 gold rings below the strip. They put the rings on the sides across from each other. The rings held the poles used to carry. The workers made the poles out of acacia wood. They covered them with gold. They also made the sacred anointing oil and the pure sweet-smelling incense. A person who makes perfume made them. The workers built the altar for burnt offerings out of acacia wood. It was 4 feet 6 inches high and 7 feet 6 inches square. They made a horn stick out from each of its 4 upper corners. They covered the altar with bronze. They made all its tools out of bronze. They made its pots, shovels, sprinkling bowls, meat forks, and pans for carrying ashes. They made a bronze grate for the altar. They put the grate halfway up the altar on the inside. They made a bronze ring for each of the 4 corners of the gate. They made poles out of acacia wood. They covered them with bronze. They put the poles through the rings. The poles were on 2 sides of the altar for carrying. The workers made the altar out of boards. They left it hot. The workers made the large bronze bowl and its bronze stand. They made them out of bronze mirrors. The mirrors belonged to the woman who served at the entrance to the tent of meeting. Next, the workers made the courtyard. The south side was 150 feet long. It had curtains made out of finely twisted linen. The curtains had 20 posts and 20 bronze bases. The posts had silver hooks and bands on them. The north side was 150 feet long. Its curtain had 20 posts and 20 bronze bases. The posts had silver hooks and bands on them. The west end was 75 feet wide. Its curtains was 10 posts and 10 bases. The posts had silver hooks and bands on them. The east end toward sunrise was also 75 feet wide. Curtains 22 feet 6 inches long were on one side of the entrance to the courtyard. They were hung on 3 posts. Each post had a base. Curtains 22 feet, 6 inches long, was on the other side of the entrance. They were hung on 3 posts. Each post had a base. All the curtains around the courtyard were made out of finely twisted wood. The bases for the posts were made out of bronze. The hooks and bands on the posts were made out of silver. Their tops were covered with silver. So all the posts of the courtyard had silver bands. The curtain for the courtyard entrance was made out of blue, purple, and bright red yarn, and finely twisted linen. The person who sewed skillfully made it. It was 30 feet long. Like the curtains of the courtyard, it was 7 feet 6 inches high. It had 4 posts and 4 bronze bases. Their hooks and bands were made out of silver. All the tent stakes of the holy tent were made out of bronze. So were all the stakes of the courtyard around it. Here are the amounts of the metals used for the holy tent, where the tablets of the covenant law were kept. Moses commanded the Levites to record the amounts. The Levites did the work under the direction of Ithamar. Ithamar was the son of Aaron the priest. Bezalel, the son of Uri, made everything the Lord had commanded Moses. Uri was the son of Hur. Bezalel was from the tribe of Judah. Aholiab, the son of Ahisamach, who helped Bezalel. Aholiab was from the tribe of Dan. He could carve things and make pens, and he could sew skillfully with blue, purple, and bright red yarn and fine linen. The total weight of the gold from the wave offering was more than a ton. It was weighed out in keeping with the standard weights used in the sacred tent. The gold was used for all the work done in connection with the sacred tent. The silver received from the men in the community who were listed and counted weighed almost 4 tons. It was weighed out in keeping with the weights used in the sacred tent. It amounted to 1/5 of an ounce for each person. It was weighed out in keeping with the weights used in the sacred tent. The silver was received from the men who had been listed and counted. All of them were 20 years old or more. Their total number was 603,550. The 4 tons of silver were used to make the bases for the holy tent and for the curtain. 100 bases were made from the 4 tons. Each base used more than 75 pounds of silver. The workers used 45 pounds to make the hooks for the posts, to cover the tops of the posts, and to make their bands. The bronze from the wave offering weighed 2.5 tons. The workers used some of it to make the bases for the entrance to the tent of meeting. They used some for the bronze altar for burnt offerings and its bronze grate and all its tools. They used some for the bases of the courtyard around the holy tent. They used some for the bases for the courtyard entrance. And they used the rest to make all the tent stakes for the holy tent and the courtyard around. The workers made clothes from the blue, purple, and bright red yarn. The clothes were worn by the priests who served in the holy tent. The workers also made sacred clothes for Aaron. They made them just as the Lord had commanded Moses. The workers made the linen apron. They made it out of thin gold wire and of blue, purple, and bright red yarn and finely twisted linen. They hammered out thin sheets of gold. They cut it into thin wire. Then they served it into the blue, purple, and bright red yarn and fine linen. Skilled workers made it. The workers made shoulder straps for the apron. The straps were joined to 2 of its corners. A skillfully made waistband was made like the apron. The waistband was part of the apron itself. It was made out of thin gold wire and out of blue, purple, and bright red yarn and out of finely twisted linen. The workers made it just as the Lord had commanded Moses. They put the onyx stones in the fancy gold settings. They carved the names of the sons of Israel on the stones. They did it the way a jewel cutter would carve them. Then they connected them to the shoulder straps of the linen apron. The stones stood for the sons of Israel and were a constant reminder for them. The workers did those things just as the Lord had commanded Moses. So, skilled workers made the chest cloth. They made it like the linen apron. They used thin gold wire and blue, purple, and bright red yarn and finely twisted linen. The chest cloth was 9 inches square. It was folded in half. The workers put 4 rows of valuable jewels on it. Carnelian, chrysolite, and beryl were in the first row. Turquoise, lapis lazuli, and emerald were in the second row. Jacinth, agate, and amethyst were in the third row. And topaz, onyx, and jasper were in the fourth row. The workers put them in fancy gold settings. They used a total of 12 stones. There was one stone for each of the names of the sons of Israel. Each stone was carved with the name of one of the 12 tribes. The workers made braided chains out of pure gold for the chest cloth. They made them like ropes. They made 2 fancy gold settings and 2 gold rings. They connected them to 2 corners of the chest cloth. They joined the 2 gold chains to the rings at the corners of the chest cloth. They joined the other ends of the chains to the 2 settings. They joined them to the shoulder straps on the front and on the front of the linen apron. The workers made 2 gold rings. They connected them to the other 2 corners of the chest cloth. They put them on the inside edge next to the apron. Then they made 2 more gold rings. They connected them to the bottom of the shoulder straps on the front of the apron. They put them close to the seam. They put them right above the waistband of the apron. Then they tied the rings of the chest cloth to the ring of the apron with blue cord. They connected it to the waistband. Then the chest cloth would not swing out from the linen apron. The workers did those things just as the Lord had commanded Moses. The workers made the outer rim of the linen apron completely out of blue cloth. The cloth was made by a skillful person. The workers made an opening in the center of the rope. They made an edge like a collar around the opening. Then it couldn't tear. They made pomegranates out of blue, purple, and bright red yarn, and finally twisted linen. They sewed them around the hem of the rope. They made bells out of pure gold. They sewed them around the hem between the pomegranates. They sewed a bell between every 2 pomegranates all around the hem of the robe. Aaron had to wear the robe when he served as priest. That's what the Lord commanded Moses. The workers made inner robes out of fine linen for Aaron and his sons. This linen cloth was made by a skillful person. The workers also made the turban out of fine linen, and they made the caps and the underwear out of finely twisted linen. The belt was made out of finely twisted linen and blue, purple, and bright red yarn. A person who sews skillfully made it. The workers did those things just as the Lord had commanded Moses. They made the plate out of pure gold. There was a secret crack. On the plate they carved the words "Set apart for the Lord." Then they tied the plate to the turban with a blue cord. They did those things just as the Lord had commanded Moses. So all the work on the holy tent, the tent of meeting, was complete. The Israelites did everything just as the Lord had commanded Moses. Then they brought up the holy tent to Moses, along with everything that belonged to it. And here are the things they brought: hooks, frames, crossbars, posts, bases, the covering of ramskins dyed red, the covering of another kind of strong leather, the curtain that hides the ark that hides the ark where the tablets of the covenant of the law kept, the poles and cover for the ark, the table for the holy bread with all its things, the holy bread, the pure gold lampstand with its row of lamps and everything used with it, the olive oil that gives light, the gold altar for burning incense, the anointing oil, the sweet-smelling incense, the curtain for the entrance to the tent, the bronze altar for burnt offerings with its bronze grate, its poles and all its tools, the large bowl with its stand, the curtains of the courtyard with their posts and bases, the curtain for the entrance to the courtyard, the ropes and tent stakes for the courtyard, everything that belongs to the holy tent, the tent of meeting, the sacred clothes for Aaron the priest, the clothes for his sons when they served as priests. The Israelites had done all the work just as the Lord had commanded Moses. Moses looked over the work carefully. He saw that the workers had done it just as the Lord had commanded. So Moses gave them his blessing. Then the Lord said to Moses, "Set up the holy tent, the tent of meeting. Set it up on the day of the first month. On the first day of the first month. Place it in the ark where the tablets of the covenant law are kept. Hide the ark with the curtain. Bring in the table for the holy bread. Arrange the loaves of bread on it. Then bring in the lampstand. Set up its lamps. Place the gold altar for burning incense in front of the ark where the tablets of the covenant law are kept. Put up the curtain at the entrance to the holy tent. Place the altar for burnt offerings in front of the entrance to the holy tent, the tent of meeting. Place the larger bowl between the tent of meeting and the altar. Put water in the bowl. Set up the courtyard around the holy tent. Put the curtain at the entrance to the courtyard. Get the anointing oil. Anoint the holy tent and everything in it. Set apart the holy tent and everything that belongs to it. Then it will be holy. Anoint the altar for a burnt offering and all its tools. Set apart the altar. Then it will be a very holy place. Anoint the large bowl and its snake, but set them apart. Bring Aaron and his sons to the entrance to the tent of meeting. Wash them with water. Dress Aaron in the sacred clothes. Anoint him and set him apart. Then he will be able to serve me as priest. Bring his sons and dress them in their inner robes. Anoint them just as you anointed their father. Then they will be able to serve me as priests. They will be anointed to do the work of priests. That work will last for all time to come. Moses did everything just as the Lord had commanded him. So the holy tent was set up. It was the first day of the first month in the second week. Moses set up the holy tent. He put the bases in place. He put the frames in them. He put it in the crossbars. He set up their posts. He spread the holy tent over the frames. Then he put the coverings over the tent. Moses did it as the Lord had commanded him. He got the tablets of the covenant law. He placed them in the ark. He put the poles through its rings, and he put the cover on it. The cover was the place where sins people. Moses brought the ark into the holy tent. He hung a curtain to hide the ark where the tablets of the covenant law kept. Moses did it as the Lord had commanded him. Moses placed the table for the holy bread in the tent of meeting. It was on the north side of the holy tent outside the tent. He arranged the loaves of bread on it in the side of the wall. Moses did it as the Lord had commanded him. Moses placed the lampstand in the tent of meeting. It stood across from the table on the south side of the holy tent. He set up the lamps in front of the Lord. Moses did it as the Lord had commanded him. Moses placed the gold altar for burning incense in the tent of meeting. He placed it in front of the curtain. He burned sweet-smelling incense on it. Moses did it as the Lord had commanded him. Then Moses put up the curtain at the entrance of the holy tent. He set the altar for burnt offerings near the entrance to the holy tent, the tent of meeting. He sacrificed burnt offerings and grain offerings on it. Moses did it as the Lord had commanded him. Moses placed a large bowl between the tent of meeting and the altar. He put water in the bowl for washing. Moses and Aaron and his sons used it to wash their hands and feet. They washed whenever they entered the tent of meeting or approached the altar. They did as the Lord had commanded Moses. Then Moses set up the courtyard around the holy tent and altar. He put up the curtain at the entrance of the court, and so Moses completed the work. Then the cloud covered the ark, the tent of meeting. The glory of the Lord filled the holy tent. Moses couldn't enter the tent of meeting because the cloud had settled on it. The glory of the Lord filled the holy tent. The Israelites continued their travels. Whenever the cloud lifted from above the holy tent, they started ahead. But if the cloud didn't lift, they did not start out. They stayed until the day it lifted. So the cloud of the Lord was above the holy tent during the day. Fire was in the cloud at night. All the Israelites could see the cloud during all their travels. Proverbs 9. Wisdom has built her house. She has set up its 7 pillars. She has prepared a meat and mixed wine. She has also set the table. She has sent out her servant. She calls out from the highest point of the city. She says, "Let all who are childish come to my house." She speaks to those who have no sense. She says, "Come and eat my food. Drink the wine I have made. Leave your childish ways and you will live. Walk in the way of understanding." When you correct someone who makes fun of others, you might be laughed at. When you warn sinners, you might get. Don't warn those who make fun of others, or they will hate. Warn those who are wise, and they will love you. Teach a wise person, and they will become even wiser. Teach a person who does right, and they will learn even more. If you want to become wise, you must begin by respecting the Lord. To know the Holy One is to gain understanding. Through wisdom you will live a long time. Years will be added to your life. If you are wise, your wisdom will reward you. If you make fun of them, you alone will suffer. The woman called foolishness is one. She is childish and knows nothing. She sits at the door of her head. She sits at the highest point of the city. She calls out to those who pass by. She calls out who goes straight on their way. She says, "Let all who are childish come to my house." She speaks to those who have no sense. She says, "Stolen water, sweet, fruit eaten in secret tastes good." But they don't know that dead people are there. They don't know that guests are deep in the place of the dead. Psalm 130. Lord, I cry out to you because I'm suffering so deeply. Lord, listen to me. Pay attention to my cry for your mercy. Lord, suppose you kept a close watch on sin. Lord, who then wouldn't be found guilty? But you forgive, so we can serve you with respect. With all my heart, I wait for the Lord to help me. I put my hope in His word. I wait for the Lord to help me. I want His help more than night watchmen want the morning to come. I'll say it again. I want His help more than night watchmen want the morning to come. Israel, put your hope in the Lord, because the Lord's love never fails. He sets his people completely free. He himself will set Israel free from all their sins. Now that's done, I shall now do the Lord's Prayer. Please bow your heads. Our Father in heaven, hallowed be your name. Your kingdom come, your will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us today our daily bread. Forgive us our debts as we also forgive our debtors. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from the evil one. For yours is the kingdom and the power and the glory forever. Amen. See you tomorrow. Bye.